I'm about to get a lot of you guys really upset at me because I'm going to say it. Higher level gear is pointless. I said it. I did. You guys might be arguing. You might be like, "My primordial boots are better than the dragon boots." No, they're not. No, they're not. I looked into it, guys. All right, I'm going to explain that a little bit, and we're going to use that as an example. Why is some of this stuff so expensive? So, if you have been watching my videos and understand the story, I bought a rapier, I sold my fang, I bought my fang back, sold the rapier back, because there was not that big of a difference for 40 mil. I look into the primordial boots and I'm like, hey, let's go ahead and let's pick these up because this should be a big upgrade from my dragon boots. One melee strength? Better than the dragon boots? I think there's +2 attack or something like that. But when you think about it, let's look at damage. 4 melee strength equals 1 damage. The primordial boots give +1 more than the dragon boots. Dragon boots are 31 million gold less? So when you're looking at it, it actually isn't that big of a deal, which is insane to me. So I started looking at some other weapons, and I started looking at some other things, and I'm looking at some of this, some of the gear that is currently in the game that is very, very expensive. And I look at the par medium tier gear, and it's almost just as good, which is insane. Now, when you're looking at best in slot, I think this is the way most video games are. When you're looking at best in slot stuff, you're obviously going to pay the premium because there's no other better than that item, right? I get that. But you would think there'd be like a decent difference. Primordial boots and dragon boots are very similar. There are some defensive like things like that, but if you're using prayer, what does the defense that it gives have to do with anything? Now, this is coming from a player that is just doing some Slayer. I like to do skills. I'm not really into bossing, so I understand the bossing point of view is probably a lot different because any little edge you can get is definitely a big deal, right? So I get that. But you would think for that big of a price that like either dragon boots would be more expensive or primordial boots would be way closer, like even half. Like 10 mil, not 31 mil. That's just insane. And maybe the way that you get it is expensive. I guess you have to like use some stone, someone was saying, and put it on the dragon boots to make it tradable or whatever it is. I'm not 100% sure how that went. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I just know that there's no way for me. I'm level 94 Slayer. I've went from level 1 to 94 with dragon boots. And obviously I probably didn't have dragon boots when I was level 1, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. Why change it now? Like if it was to make the skill a little faster, which I do believe the rapier would actually make the skill a little faster. I do. But it's not worth 40 mil faster. And I don't think the primordial boots would actually make that big of a difference on the way that I'm playing the game. And I say the way that I'm playing the game because I'm not bossing or anything like that. I'm sure that definitely makes a big difference in the long run. But it's just crazy that gear does not necessarily mean as much as I thought it did. Now, it's crazy to me that I see these people in like, you know, billions of gold worth of gear. And then I look at him and I'm like, you know what? A dude with like a whip and, you know, maybe some bandos or something. Not even some bandos. You know, just some whatever gear. Can almost do the same damage as them? That doesn't make sense to me. Now, I guess when I say billions, like, I guess a T-bow. I haven't looked into a T-bow. Haven't looked in the Scythe or anything like that. So maybe those are, like, super ridiculous. But when it comes to, like, regular gear, like a couple 100 million gear, it doesn't seem like it's that outrageous. Like, I'm just shocked. I'm shocked, and it's very interesting to know that gear does not matter as much because I have an alt account. I'm playing an alt account. I'm fishing on it. That video will be up tomorrow of the loot of one bond. Probably like 13 days because I got one more day, but I'm going to be heading out of town, so you guys will get that video tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good video, so make sure you guys check it out. I can actually like set up. If I trained some skills, I don't necessarily need that much gear to do almost the same damage as my main. And that's insane. Like if I got the same stats, right? Like if I had lower tier gear, we'd almost be doing the same damage. And I don't understand that. Like when you look at a whip, because I was doing some comparisons. I was looking at, there's some videos out there that compare the fang to the whip and stuff like that. There are when you look at the whip and the fang, there are a decent amount of difference there. But when you look at like the rapier and the fang, there's not that much. So it's crazy because the whip is legit. The whip is actually pretty good. Like obviously it's not as good as the fang. But you're gonna be if you just got the whip straight up, you're gonna be doing well. You're gonna be able to do whatever combat task or anything that you want in the game, and you're gonna be sitting fine. That is crazy to me. I think it's cool, but I also think I wish that the higher end gear, there was a little bit more separation. Because when I think of like, you know, primordial boots or something, like that's what everybody was saying, that they're the best, you know, and I'm like, dude, they're almost the same as dragon boots. They just got some wings. That's it. Like, I won't be able to... Maybe I'll attack faster a little bit. Maybe the accuracy... Is it two attack? So maybe we'll be a little bit more accurate, maybe. So obviously that will play into some DPS. But my max hit is going to be the same whether I wear primordial boots and dragon boots. I guess it depends on the gear. Because maybe some stuff stacks different. And maybe... I'll have like +1 damage or something, but that's not that much. I couldn't pay 31 mil for a pair of boots that weren't going to give me a visible or a feeling of an upgrade. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. I don't know. Am I crazy, guys? What do you guys think? Are you guys listening to this video and you're like, Looney, you're just a noob. You don't understand. Or are you like, yeah, down with primordial boots. No, I'm not saying that, okay? I'm definitely not saying that. If I had like a grip of money, I'd buy it just because they kind of look cool, you know? But the fact that it's just not that big of an upgrade for me, it's a waste for me personally. So, I don't know. It's crazy, though. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of... I don't know, like... The fire cape or the like I hear people saying that I should get the fire cape. How much better is the fire cape than a skill cape? Because if it's not like a tremendous amount better, what's the point in the grind? Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think the Looney TNT is onto something here, guys. All right, maybe just a little bit, not a lot, you know. I look at like skilling outfits, for example. like you the rune crafting outfit where you get 60% more runes. That is crazy. And then you look at like some of this other gear and it's like, yeah, it's all right. You know, it's like, shouldn't it be like chance to double hit with full set of bandos or something like that? I don't know. Listen, this is an RS3. I'm not trying to make it RS3. I'm not going that direction. I'm just I pretty much just wanted to ramble on today and talk about how it's insane to me that some of the gear that I thought was like really, really good is almost the same as normal gear. And like, yes, there is a difference, and yes, they are better, but not that much. It's crazy. So, all right, guys. That's about it. I hope I didn't upset anybody. You know, I probably did because, you know, there's probably that guy that just bought Primordial boots because I was the same way. And you're trying to justify it. Be like, no, these are the best boots. There's a reason I got these boots. I spent 31 mil and everybody else should too. They should go up to 35 mil. I get that. I did that with the rapier. And then the next day I sold it. I was like, screw this. There's too many videos that say this is almost the same as the Fag for 40 mil less, you know, so I don't know. All right, guys, watch tomorrow's video. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited because we're gonna do the price check. So the way tomorrow's video is gonna work for the people that care, we're going to price check all the fish. We're gonna see how many fish that we were able to catch on the alt in a we're gonna call it a 13-day period, and then, after that, I'm also going to show you guys the money that I made from flipping, because I was flipping the whole time. So, the way that I was flipping is I was just buying items overnight and then selling them in the morning. That's kind of the way we did it. Very low effort. Zero effort, really. I put in the price, and I just did it, and I just kept doing it, and that's it. Like, I'd buy X amount of the item, and I would just wait until they all bought. And then I'd put it in for X amount of item and sold them. It was so easy. And I'm actually will probably continue to do that part because it was so, it was just zero effort on my end. So we're going to continue to do that. We'll see how much I made. The starting cash that I started with was 900K. This guy had a little bit of money on it, my alt. And I needed to buy some sandworms. Are those sandworms? Yeah, sandworms. And little things like that. But all the money, the only money that I gave the account was that 10 mil for that bond. Because I think I had like, I don't know, like 2 mil or something like that on the guy. Something like that. And the bond cost almost like 11 mil. And then I bought the sandworms. And then I had like 900K left. So I was flipping with 900K. And I'll explain that a little bit more in tomorrow's video. So, alright guys. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on things. What are some items that are like super pricey that you think the lesser version is almost equivalent, but for like half or even more the price? I'm very curious. Alright guys, like, favorite, share, subscribe, do what you need to do, and like always, anything goes good with a Dragon Med.